Alright guys, this is the 6th endgame in the 100 endgame series. I've got a position here and as you can see I've made some notes on how to win. So this position here is a win, however it's only a win as long as we keep the king here trapped in the corner and on the back rank. The reason we need the black king to stay in that position is because we need to create checkmate threats. We need to create a double attack here. We need to be able to attack the bishop and checkmate at the same time so that we can win the bishop. In general, a rook versus a bishop is a draw. However, there's certain positions if the black king and the black bishop get themselves in a tricky situation like they're in now, then it can be a loss. One thing to remember: if you're defending, for example, you want your king to be in the corner of the opposite color of your own bishop. Here, as you can see, the black king is in the corner of the black square here, and black has a black bishop, a dark squared colored bishop. So this is trouble for black here. The first move in this endgame is rook f1, and as you see in my notes here, our goal in this ending will be to remove the black bishop from the g and h files. When the black bishop is on these two files, we can't attack it and threaten checkmate at the same time. In order for us to threaten checkmate and the bishop at the same time, the bishop needs to be out on the opening. Say on bishop a7 would be somewhat of a mistake here, although the position's losing anyway. Here, rook a1 wins very quickly. The bishop has to move or it's going to get taken, and wherever it moves, the most awkward place for white is bishop b8. Wherever it goes, black will either pin it and win it, or they'll move, we threaten checkmate, bishop blocks, and we take, and it's checkmate. So that's going to be our goal in this endgame, to get the bishop away from the g and the h file. So as you can see here in my table base, bishop h2 is the trickiest defense. So what do? We attack it again from behind here. Black stays on the g file, and now we attack it from the side here. And now, as you can see, the black bishop can't stay on the g and h file. It can't move here or here to h2 or h4. It will just be taken. So now it has to move. You can see my table base again. The most tricky move is bishop d6. Bishop d6, and we just attack it. And again, we're attacking the bishop, and we're also x-raying the back rank here. If bishop c7, we can attack again, and after the bishop moves back, we're going to pin it. We're going to pin it at the back rank. The black bishop will eventually run out of moves wherever it goes, once it's out in the opening. After rook d3, bishop e7, rook c3 here. Although rook b3 would be equally as winning, although it's slightly slower. We have to go back to rook d3 here. Rook c3. And the thing is, if the king tries to get out here, which is what it needs to do, we play rook to c8, check here. And the only move for black is to play bishop d8. The king has no moves here. We win the bishop, and we can win the rook endgame. So that's essentially the way to win this endgame. Force the bishop off the back rank. If you think maybe another move like bishop f4 here, again we can just go to rook c3. And here you might think the king can get out, but unfortunately no, because we can pin it. So that's why we don't need to force the bishop off the f-file, because we can still threaten checkmate and the king can't get out. Anytime the black king tries to get out, we can pin the bishop to the king. And there's nothing else for black to do here. The white king is on a white square, so it can never be checked by the black bishop. Anything else, if the black bishop tries to go to f8 to defend the check, we just wait and move, and the king's only got h8 to go to. We take. The second exercise from the 6th endgame is the 100 endgames you need to know is essentially the same thing, only with black to move this time. You can see in my table-based most tricky defense, bishop h2. We just do the same thing again. We push off the back rank. Bishop g3, bishop g1 accounts for the same thing. And after rook g2, the same thing happens. We pin at the end. One thing to note is that after bishop h4 here, we can the quickest way to win is king h5 check. And in fact, well, we can play rook g4 here as well, pushing it off the g and h file. If the bishop f2 here, we can play bishop c4, for example. And again, the king can't go to f8 because of check, winning the bishop. But king h4 is just the simplest way to win, checking the king and attacking the bishop at the same time. After the king moves, we take the bishop. Same applies if the bishop goes to f4. So that's it for this endgame. Push the bishop off the g and h files, and then create checkmate threats on the back rank. If the bishop goes to the f file, you can come out into the open, create an immediate checkmate threat. If the king tries to come out to the f file, you can double attack. You can skewer, in fact, the bishop and the king. If the bishop goes to any other square, you can attack the bishop and x-ray the checkmate square on the back rank. Alright, cheers guys.